that. After over 2.5 years, So after over 2.5 years, I finally was able to get my hands on a Rivian. This is a 2022 Rivian R1T Launch Edition. 835 horsepower, 908 pound-feet of torque, 4-wheel drive via 4 independent motors. Each wheel has its own motor. The syncing algorithms of this thing must be insane. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, 11,000 pounds towing capacity, and almost 2,000 pounds of payload. These numbers are super important for any truck. Oh, and about 320 miles of range for this. Now the Rivians have over 400 miles of electric range. This uses the standard J1772 connector or the DC fast charging connector, and there's an adapter for you to use Tesla's charging network, Tesla's supercharging network, which this is now a part of. So whether or not how you feel about Tesla, their charging network is second to none at this point in time, and you can use that. With all that underneath your belt, there is nothing that I can really find about this truck, about Rivian as a brand, period, that I just can't say, you know what? This is the first time in over 30 years that my loyalty to Jeep has been challenged. And that is huge. It's huge. As you can see, this automatically has the seat and mirrors, and even the steering wheel will move according to whatever settings you set, which is awesome. I'm not sure exactly how many profiles you can have, but you can have at least 2. I'm pretty sure it's a lot more than that. Brilliant. This is my driving position when my kids are in the back, when there's nobody sitting behind me, because there is quite a bit of space. Huge range of motion. Look at my feet. Look at my legs. Just for reference, again, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm 6'6", and this is my channel dedicated to bringing information to those of taller drivers and trying to get the word out there about electrified vehicles. They are not your enemy, they are your friend. This truck is considerably faster than 99% of the automotive industry. I think it's worth pointing out too that Rivian has been doing a lot of research with this. This is not just some weird goofy side project. This is their passion, and I really appreciate that. The fit and finish of this truck is absolutely astounding. Everything about this truck I absolutely love. There are some nitpicky things, like the headrests don't move. Don't know about that, but that's nothing compared to what the rest of this truck does. Look at these seriously large map pockets. I love the way that's designed to where at least, you know, if you've got something that is not this exact shape, it will actually, you can stretch it so you can conform to that shape. Hopefully the stretchy, bungee cords of this, you know, don't wear out over time. Only time will tell. This truck has about 30,000 miles on it. It is a 2022, and it looks and smells even like a 2025. Everything about this truck is just so amazing, and I can't get enough of it, honestly. The biggest gripe that I've ever had about a pickup truck is that there is no storage that is not the bed. I hated that. The storage underneath the seats in a modern day pickup truck, sure, that's decent, but it's not big enough for a book bag. It's not big enough for luggage. It's not, none of that. It's not big enough for that. And then when you put stuff in there, anybody that's sitting on the back seat, you'd have to ask them to get up. So in my case, I would have to ask my kids to get out of their seats. I have to unbuckle their car seats, put their car seat somewhere and then proceed to get the stuff underneath the seat. That's not logical. That's just not logical. That's not convenient. I mean, I could see some recovery tools and things like that, some straps. Everything else, no. That's where the frunk comes in. So I am just so amazed. Everything happens from the steering wheel. Let me go ahead and adjust a few things so you can see what that looks like. If I can remember how to get back to those settings. Let me see. If you just move the seat, it'll actually bring up the quick deal. So this is how you adjust the steering wheel. This is how it goes. Similar to a Tesla. So there's nothing really new there. The cool thing is once you make any adjustment to the steering wheel or the seat, the quick menu will pop up and it'll ask you, do you want me to remember this? Under my profile, you'll say yes. It's super slow, but... And if you move the wheel too quickly, it won't even respond. So you have to kind of do it slow. Anyway, this is a ton of leg room. And because of that, it is not that difficult to go ahead and appropriate space where it needs to be. And to be honest with you, this right here is comfortable for me. Not gonna lie. This is comfortable for me in this particular vehicle. Had this been any other vehicle, I would not be comfortable. And I'll explain why. The brake pedal. Normally with somebody, when you're a taller driver, you have to lift your entire foot off the ground and apply the brake. Or you will have your foot. So, in a normal vehicle, I have to have my foot, so in any other vehicle, I would not be comfortable. Because as you can see, my foot, or my knee, hits the steering column, and this is all the way up. Now, mind you, this is the only driving position that will be comfortable for somebody sitting behind me. So, I like to sit with my leg. Yeah, this is not comfortable at all. Maybe I could scoop the seat back a little bit, but anyway, how I like to drive in a normal vehicle is that I like to have my foot parallel with the brake pedal, and I like to pivot my foot. Yeah, see, this steering column's getting in the way. So then you can see the problem. My leg is at a weird angle, and I absolutely hate that. That way I can just switch from gas to brake, right? This is very uncomfortable in this seating position. However, the gas, I keep calling it the gas. It's not the gas, it's the accelerator pedal. However, with this, since it has one pedal driving, you almost instantaneously get used to that. You can just keep your foot here. My leg is in a very natural seating position. I've got plenty of wiggle room. And then you can just accelerate and decelerate using only the accelerator pedal. Dead pedal has plenty of space. My legs fit comfortably. Everything in here is very well thought out. Here's the menu. This is the page that I normally stay on because I like to switch between conserve mode, which is only two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive at that, and sport mode, because there are instances where 0 to 60 in 3 seconds can be very useful. When you put it in sport mode, it's automatically a heightened sense of energy consumption. The vehicle will automatically lower down to a lower ride height, because this is air ride. And yeah, you can scoot. You can absolutely scoot. Yeah. Anyway, lots of information. The compass, your elevation, your lowest and highest points since it's been reset. Battery temperature, because you don't have an engine, so the most important temperatures are your battery and motor. You can see each individual motors. Brilliant. Your tire pressure. And believe it or not, this is standard for these Rivians. The R1T and the R1S, they have like 50 PSI, maybe even 58 PSI if I remember correctly. This is standard. This is actually what they want you to run this at. So, anyway. And of course, it's got your trips. So, yeah. It also has this cool feature where, oh yeah, it's got a ton of cameras, of course. You can see everything. It even shows that rear side door is open. You can switch the views. This is the tailgate view. It even shows you a little bit of what it's seeing in the rear view mirror. Side view mirror, excuse me. There is a camera on the side view mirror. It's just below it, if you can see that. And of course the 360 view. Isn't that cool? I love 360 views. It even has a bed view. You can see the tonneau cover is just briefly opened. It is power. It is standard. It even shows you the briefly opened tonneau cover right there. You see, this is an image. This is not an actual picture of the truck. So it showing you that the tonneau cover is open is actually just a computer-generated image. Because as you can see, you cannot see the boxes in the back because this is not an actual image of the truck. It's just a graphic of the truck, which is awesome that it shows you that it's open just a little bit. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. What I don't see is the fact that that door, remember, that side door, which is about right there, is open, but it's not showing open in the graphic. That's interesting. Very interesting. It's crazy. The maps are in air quote nighttime mode, but you can see this map is absolutely brilliant. It's beautiful. This is a proprietary software. I'm not sure if it's like given to them by Google or how or what's going on here, but this is not through my phone. This is through the vehicle. I do see why they do this. At first I was kind of upset, but then I realized there's a reason for that. The reason is that when you choose to go somewhere, when you search somewhere to go, and you get a description of where it is, you can actually, the truck will tell you, hey, you're going to have 13 miles when you get there, or whatever. And this will allow you to incorporate the charging. For example, let's say I want to go to Las Vegas. And by the way, I'm in the Phoenix Valley. Las Vegas, Nevada. It's 336 miles away. Let's check it out. Vegas is open 24 hours, by the way. Bet you didn't know that. Anyway, it will then calculate the best route. And it will tell you where you need to charge. Since this is the launch edition, this only has about 320 miles of range. And it suggests, just because, and in order to keep things, you know, on the up and up, you don't want to have to pull over and charge because you have to. You want to be able to pull over and charge as you need it, but not as you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. So it's suggesting that you go ahead and go to this charging station. So it's going to ask you to go ahead and drive for however long, stop at this supercharger here, charge for 14 minutes, keep driving, charge for 20 minutes here. There is traffic right there. And then boom, your destination. And then from there, you can pick whatever charger you want to. You don't have to follow this if you don't want to, but this just makes total sense. This will keep the time lower and everything. So it even tells you your estimated arrival range is 68 miles. So once you actually get to Vegas, after leaving here and charging for just 20 minutes. So this trip, if you had a gasoline car, you would spend 45 minutes more making this trip with this truck than you would a gasoline car that can drive 330 miles, what have you. If I don't have any super crazy time constraints, I'll spend about 45 minutes even with a gas car extra per trip. I'll stop and get gas at some point. Just for reference, my Wrangler 4xe can't travel this distance without getting fuel. So there you go. I'll probably spend 15 to 20. Okay, realistically, extra 20 minutes for this trip versus if I took it with my regular gas Jeep or my 4xe Wrangler. I would even bypass that because you can easily make it to here without charging here. It's just suggesting that because just in case. It doesn't want you to get somewhere and then be like, uh-oh, now these chargers, this is a Rivian charger too, that's crazy. This charger is full or it's inoperable for whatever reason. That is the only Achilles heel to these electric vehicles because the average person does not drive 300 miles round trip every single day. Average person. The average trip in the U.S. is about 27 miles one way. So about 50 miles is what the average U.S. person commute daily does. You can do that with this vehicle, obviously, every day and only charge at night, even if you only had a level 1 charger. You've got your music. You can set up whatever you want. Right now I've got the Bluetooth, would be connected if I wasn't recording, and I would have my Spotify being played right here. Let's go up and see some more options. Energy. When you plug in, this is the screen that you're going to want to see absolutely first. For example, here, this thing can charge all the way up to 48 amps. I have a 40 amp charger at home. It's currently, well, you can't see it. Oh, there it is. This is a 40 amp charger. So what the truck will do in this case is that it will just simply only charge at 40. Because the truck can handle 48, but I only have a 40 amp charger, right? Here's another caveat. My 40 amp charger is plugged into, unfortunately, a 30 amp outlet. So now you would have to go here, and unfortunately I've had to do this every time I charge, every night I charge or whatever, and I have to dumb this down to 30 amps. Boop, one more. Let's see how far you can go down. Wow, you can actually charge all the way down to 8 amps. Now, mind you, this number here is directly correlated to what the outlet is. So my level 2 charger is plugged into basically the dryer outlet. And the dryer outlet, unfortunately, was only 30 amps. I thought it was 40, but it's only 30. I did install right next to the fuse box, I installed a 50 amp outlet for our charger. So if we wanted to charge 2 EVs at the same time, we can do that here. Especially since our dryer is now gone. Actually, it's right there. We've upgraded to a all-in-one unit that is that uses a heat pump, so it's actually only 120 volts. So now the outlet for our dryer is completely open, and there is no dryer vent. So it just simplifies a lot of things. Anyway, and it was a good deal. So anyway, you would have to tell the truck to only charge at a specific amperage that the outlet. Anything else is pretty much just, it'll follow suit. So even if you had a 40 amp charger, but you only have a 30 amp outlet, you have to tell the truck to charge at 30 amps only, or else it will pull. It will try to pull more energy than your outlet can handle, not the charger. The charger will only give what it can give, but it doesn't know what you're plugged into. And neither does the truck unless you tell it to. So, a little fun fact. You can set up all kinds of different things. These miles are based off of at 80%. These miles are based off of of using conserve mode, which is what I was talking about earlier. That's the two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, two-wheel drive mode. So only these two motors are actually giving you power. These in the back are just chilling. Lots of creature comfort. If you ever driven a Tesla, this will look very familiar to you. You can use this to change the direction of the vents. Ooh, let's not put that on 78 degrees. Let's go ahead and turn that down. All right, 62. There we go. It changes to cool. You can see the graphics change. The back you don't change with the screen. It is manual, but you can shut off the vent via the screen. Whoop. All right. Isn't that cool? You can actually see it move as I move this. See it? Isn't that cool? Oh man, okay, that's getting loud, sorry. It does have heated and cooled seats in the front and a heated steering wheel. You can turn that off though, we don't need that. Boop, boop, 3 levels. 3 levels of heat as well. Windshield defroster, a back window defroster. You can swipe. You can see a cool graphic. Since the vehicle's light sensors are picking up very limited light, it thinks it's at night, which is cool. When you lock the vehicle at night, it goes woo like an owl. When you lock the vehicle in the day, it chirps like a particular bird. I don't know what bird that is, but it's super cool. That's crazy. I love the graphics. You can change the ride height manually, or you can leave it in auto. I like to leave it in auto because it will raise when you're going slow, lower when you're going fast, like on the highway, for better aerodynamics. And then you've got off-road mode, which allows you to raise the vehicle even further, which is so cool. Since this vehicle, please close the passenger gear tunnel to change drive modes. Cool. I love how it knows that. But since this vehicle has 4 independent motors, one for each wheel, this doesn't need lockers. This doesn't need any type of aids to help you off-road. It just will. It just will be. And because it has 4 individual motors, this thing off-road drives superb. It's crazy. You literally have, if you have one wheel on the ground that has traction, you will be moving. Here is one thing that I found not necessarily bad, just odd. There is no, I repeat, there is no glove box. You do have storage down here. And the same goes for the driver's seat. Right? You do have that storage. And you do have a massive storage bin here. This, for whatever reason, is powered. I don't know why that is. It's pretty deep storage there. Here you can see the adapter that you would plug into this goes into the truck. This goes into the Tesla network. So this is what you would need to plug into the Tesla network, and this works. Because it's not just and there's a pass-through for your cords. Being able to charge on the Tesla network is not just a physical adaptation thing. It requires actual software too. So this being unlocked for the Rivian brand is not something you can just be like, oh, well, all I need is that adapter and I can plug. No, it's not that simple. The charger has to be able to communicate with the vehicle. When you get in the vehicle, it already shows that it's ready. I believe it's technically on, but all you got to do is just put your foot on the brake like so, and the car comes alive. It's already on technically right now, so that's something else. In order to shift the vehicle, all you got to do is, I don't know if you can see that clearly, just press this down once, like so. Yes, we know the gear tunnel's open. I'm going to close that. You know what? I'll take you with me. Accent lighting on the doors, all 4 doors. Look how long this thing is. Can't even get back there. It's crazy. But real quick, let me show you the gear tunnel. See, there it is. And there is a pass-through right there to get into the vehicle if you ever need to, or rather get to the tunnel from the vehicle. There is a armrest here with a storage bin here. Felt lined, so stuff not being all loud. Close that. Right. That's the back seat. As you can see, with the current driving position that I was telling you about, this is how I would drive only if somebody was sitting behind me. Otherwise, this seat would be so far back, it's nobody's business. But yeah, these do not move. They are stationary. Hopefully that comes through. There we go. That's a hook for any bag or even a device, a tablet, if you have the means to do so. USB-C charging there. Screen here. There's multiple features, and these are manual. Mat pockets with that same style of bungee, so you can pretty much pack this thing. And it's even got little hooks. You might even be able to utilize this for something outside. I'm not really sure on both seats. These are hard plastic, so it's going to be durable, easier to clean. Right, there's that accent lighting, and you can even change the color of that. Let me turn that light off. You can actually change the color of this. It's got like 3 or 4 or maybe 4 or 5 colors you can change. Tinted, it's got tinted glass. You cannot change the opaqueness of this glass, unfortunately, but in the Phoenix sun, it has not been an issue so far. Speakers up there. Oh crap handles. And multi-stage lights. Check that out. Boop. See, the intensity changes. Right? Isn't that crazy? Anyway. So yeah. This can handle like 250 pounds. Yep, there it is, 250 pounds. You can stand and sit on this. I normally sit down on this and I like change my shoes at work. Change from my work boots to my regular shoes because they're more comfy. This does have a little tiny cubby hole here. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the air hose, because there is an integrated that's right, an air pump. Isn't that neat? And you can set it and forget it. You can just tell it. You can tell it which tire pressure you want to do, 40 psi, 47 psi, whatever. Just set the pressure and then hit on. That's groovy. That's absolutely groovy. Over here you have 2 outlets. Standard outlets too, not no goofy plug-in deal. Wow, that thing closes really hard. I've got some boxes in here. This is loud and crunchy, but I'm sure that's with age and probably something in the track, but you can stop it. This is pressure sensitive. Just don't let it get too close to the end, but if you do push on it just a little bit, it will retract for safety. So that's pretty neat. That's with everything all open. And all of that fits into a little tiny space between here and here. I mean, look at that. It's crazy. All kinds of attachment loops and hooks. They've got their own crossbars that will fit here. And there's even some on the roof. So you don't have to worry about scratching that beautiful glass roof. There's the reverse camera for just the bed. These are brake lights. Beautiful design. Let's go ahead and close that. There you go. The validity of how airtight or watertight this is, I cannot say, but it's better than nothing, right? Let me go ahead and put this back. That's hard to do with one hand, but it is possible. Okay. Let's close. Pro tip 2, if you live somewhere where it gets really, really cold, these can freeze over, which is an unfortunate side effect of otherwise absolutely brilliant lighting system. So that's just something to keep in the back of your mind to be aware of. All right, here's the culprit right here, the other door. Whoa. And by the way, since this isn't my car, I've got my garage door openers there. However, you don't need all that. If this is your car, you can just simply add them to the vehicle. So you can, I don't know how many you can have, but I'm sure you can have a lot more than just 2. I only have 2 garage doors, so that's enough for me. Schedule. Now, this may not be earth-shattering to a lot of people, but this is to me because you can set up this thing to remote start upon your departure of wherever you are, wherever the car is, whether or not it's plugged in or not. And the reason why that's important is because I can do that inside a closed garage. I want this vehicle to be, let's do 74 degrees, right? And You can set it up for the windshield defroster. You can have it hot or cold. Obviously, whatever temperature you set it to is going to do that. But let's say I want the rear seat heaters for both rear seats. The middle seat, no luck, sorry. Maybe you can get a little bit of the after heat, I guess. I want the driver's seat, passenger seat in the front, the heated steering wheel. Let's say all that. I want all that to turn on because I leave at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can do that. You can actually set this up to do that. So the difference being that this can be in a closed garage because this doesn't burn any type of emissions while it's on. It's brilliant. Let's get back to the other pages. This also has a cool feature called Gear Guard. Gear Guard is basically like Sentry mode for your vehicle. You can see here when I'm going to go get my kids, it's got all kinds of different angles to show all around the vehicle when there's any type of motion detected. This is us getting in the vehicle. And you can switch. So once motion is detected for any one of these cameras, all the cameras are active. And I think that is absolutely amazing. You can see my son getting in on that side. You can scroll it back. There he is. That is so neat. You can spy on people that may be trying to scratch your ride. Watching you, lady. I'm watching you. Anyway, camp mode is something that I think is absolutely brilliant. You know, you can set things like the courtesy lamp. Exterior lights, sound, and proximity locking will turn off. Climate defaults to a quieter level. Because this is where you would be parked somewhere that has the ability to charge something. It could be even a campsite that is normally reserved for RVs, and you can plug in the car there as well. Remember what I said, you can have, if you have a 30 or 50 amp RV, you can plug this into that same outlet and you can charge the truck as well, or plug the truck into the RV and charge off the RV. There's just so many possibilities. I'm getting way too excited. But you can even have the outboard lights on the side view mirrors. You can have those on. You can change whatever power restrictions that you want. You can have the outlet stay on while you're using the vehicle and turn off. And when you leave, brilliant. As long as the key is close to the vehicle, it will stay on. Yada, yada. You can have the display on and off. You can, to wake it up, you unlock and press the brake. Look at that. Brilliant. So that way you're not, if you're sleeping in here for whatever reason, you're not being woken up by the screen. Sheesh. And let's say if you're on an off-road, area, you can actually level the freaking truck. Like, are you serious? There is just so much to like about this. You can change things, like you can open the frunk, obviously from in here, and then close it. Interior lights, you can turn those on and off from here. Brilliant. You can open the cargo tunnel doors. They do not close automatically, so you will have to get out and close them. You can have the bed light on. That right there is the tailgate. Unfortunately, the tailgate is right up against something, so I'm not going to open it right now. Yeah, just absolutely brilliant. Now, the turn signals on this truck are kind of interesting. Let me get back over to the driver. There's one more thing I wanted to point out real quick, and that is this. Check that out. Hidden is a flashlight. Look at that. And it is rated at 1,000 lumens. So this is no slouch. Power button. There it is. Check that out. It is charged inside the door. Woof, woof, woof. So very bright. See, is there another setting? All right, nope, that's it. Whew, man. So yeah, just that's it. Doesn't come out. Little mat pockets in the back. On the door, rather. And as you can see, that's where the seat is all the way back. And you can see there's not very much room for my daughter's legs to sit. That's where my son sits. He's a little bit older, so he gets a little bit more room anyway. But yeah, nobody can sit in there. So, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it. All right, let's see if I can fit in my daughter's seat behind my furthest back driving position. Hold on. Oh, I'm too old for this. The answer is no. I cannot. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I can just get my foot in here. So an emergency situation, the answer is yes. If I, curl up like this, I can fit. And I bet the seatbelt can even go around me. Where is that thing? Yeah. All right, safe. No, that's not happening. Okay, never mind. Okay, but an emergency situation. Yes, there's plenty of headroom in here, so that's not an issue. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get out. Oh, my knees. We did it. We're good. Ow, my legs. Okay. Okay, so without car seats, it's not that bad in the back seat. It's not great, but it's not that bad. My head does brush against the headliner. My knees have plenty of room because the front seats travel is just so great. And yeah, standard armrest with a little cubby hole. It's just got standard 2-cup holders. Nothing really fancy about it. It's a little bit of storage in the back. That's a pass-through for the gear tunnel. But other than that, I mean, it's not that bad. I would definitely like to see the 3-row SUV before I would make a decision whether or not to buy this or that. But it's pretty decent back here. And real quick, here's a shot of that under seat storage in the back. Like I said, if somebody is sitting there, you got car seats on the back seat, it's kind of inconvenient. And it's not super huge, but it is big enough for like a rifle or something like that and some tools. So it's there if you need it. Better than nothing. Okay. Let's show you what it's like to get in this bad boy. Currently locked. Grab the door handle, pull out. Now you're seated. That's how you're greeted every time you get into this bad boy. Seatbelt. Safety first. At this point, I would put my phone right here, plug it in, because it does have the flow-through charger. Again, I don't know why this is powered though. That is so random. This could have been just a standard button, but not complaining. And from here, you just simply boop, car's on. That's it. Ready to go. Let's open up this garage door. That's the wrong way, isn't it? All right. To change gears forward or backwards, simply put your foot on the brake. It shows you that the brake lights are activated. Touch all the way down. It does have a hold feature, so you can take your foot off the brake once you engage any direction, drive or reverse. And you just simply put your foot on the accelerator pedal and you just roll out. This page where you can switch to conserve mode to sport mode. And from there, you will actually see the vehicle lower itself. I don't know if that's coming through at all. And as it's doing that, it will flash. All right. Now we can go. Tells you in real time what's going on. I'm using energy now, which always comes up as orange. By the way, one touch windows all the way around. When you hit the turn signal, it comes up with a blind spot mirror. Once you straighten out the wheel, it will then go back to whatever mode you were looking at. When you're regenning, aka slowing down, it will show you green regeneration. Like I said before, my foot never touches the brake. You don't need to. All right, there's somebody coming. That doesn't matter because we got the power. All right. 3, 2, 1. Jesus. Holy monkey in the barrel. This is ridiculously fast. That's unreal. And then, of course, mad regen is happening. This thing is unreal. If you know what it feels like to throw over 7,000 pounds, that's the other thing. This truck weighs over 7,000 pounds. If you know what it feels like to take your butt and 7,000 pounds of truck butt, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, you don't know you needed that until you've needed that. Let's talk about price. Why not? Let's talk about price. So yeah, these things can be $100,000, and unfortunately you are at the mercy of the dealer when it comes to that, because you can get these gently used. If for whatever that's worth, you can get these things used for under $60,000. Name another truck that can tow 11,000 pounds, and yes, the range, like anything else, will be affected by however much you're towing. Yes, towing will it won't be half or whatever, depending on. But if you have the full maxed out of everything, if you got 2,000 pounds on the truck and then you got 11,000 pounds behind the truck, sure, yeah, absolutely. Like anything, your miles will be affected. However, Rivian and some other electric vehicle charging stations have taken the initiative to go ahead and make flow-through chargers. 3, 2, 1. 60, baby. 70. Why not? 75, 77. I am on a closed course for illegal jargon. This road is uninhabited by other people. Look at this douche. No reason to pull out like that, but whatever. Caught you! Mustang drivers, am I right? The first four-door Wrangler that I ever had, I used to have a 93, a 95. Unfortunately, I was unable to secure a 97 through 2006, which was my favorite at the time, until the first four-door came out, and I was in love. The 3.8 liter V6 that the first generation four-door Wranglers had was absolutely anemic at best. And that 4-speed automatic was trash. I didn't have any problems with it. It was just so underpowered and overwhelmed. It was just a recipe for disaster. Going from that to the Wrangler 4xe, which has almost 400 horsepower and over 400 pound-feet of torque, was a magnificent step. I used to get gas in my 07 four-door Wrangler, 410 gears. It was not a Rubicon, but at that time, every first iteration of that Wrangler, four-door Wrangler that was four-wheel drive was 410 gears, Dana 44s. Fun fact, if you didn't know that. It had like 202 horsepower at the crank, not at the wheels, at the crank. The horsepower figures for electric vehicles is at the wheels because there is nothing else there. So if your daily commute is less than 266 miles, an EV is, and you got a place to charge, an EV is right for you already. And like I said, if you are ever unsure if you can make it somewhere, the truck knows. The truck already knows that, hey, you're going to have to, it's recommended to stop here, charge for about 15 minutes, and then continue your trip, charge for another 21 minutes. Now that we've used some juice, these times have changed a little bit. And then you can get to Vegas, which is still open 24 hours, 7 days a week. The whole city open. You see what I'm saying? So, and then you've got other things that you, let's say if you want to change your preferred, let's say you want to be at 65%, right? Let's say you want to do that, and we always want to avoid tolls because what? Apply once. Look at that. It suggests another stop just before you get there, another 20 minutes there. So the truck knows there is no reason for anybody to be running out of electric. And just in case you do run out of electric, there are ways to get you some juice. It won't be quick. It will not be quick, but in the grand scheme of things, depending on what is happening in the world, it actually can be quicker than having a gas vehicle. Let me explain. Take this scenario. Now, I got this off the AAA website. There have been times where people on the highway have ran out of gas in their regular gas vehicle. Doesn't matter the vehicle, it's just a regular gas vehicle. They run out of gas on the highway. They call AAA just for some gas. That's all they're doing. Depending on where the closest driver is that has the gas can with them, it could take, the average time is like 2 hours, right? So 2 hours you're waiting for a driver. Sometimes that driver may pull up and figure out, oh crap, you need premium. Or you need diesel, and all I have is just regular gas, 87 or 85 or whatever. So now that's an additional time that wasn't taken into account for. And so now they got to send somebody else out, yada, yada. You could easily spend several hours waiting for just gas. Or same scenario, except now you've just got any other electric vehicle that allows bidirectional charging. Bidirectional charging means the EV can actually supply power from that same battery pack. So if somebody were to be kind enough and you had the adapters, you could literally plug in one electric vehicle to another. Yes, you can put 4x8 sheet goods in here. The bed is a unique hinge design. So the bed, you can see that hinge design allows this tailgate to actually fold out further than it folds up, if that makes any sense. So this can accommodate 4x8 sheet goods. And this is only accessible if the tailgate is down. It does have a spare tire cubby hole. Spare rim is naked without a tire right now. I'm not sure what that's about, but this can accommodate a full-size spare tire with a matching rim. I'm guessing this owner probably had a problem. Anyway, and if you don't need that for a rim, for example, if you just can be used as another cubby hole, just at that point it's kind of the same thing about the seat storage. You have to have nothing on top of the seat. You got to have nothing in the bed, or at least nothing in the way, in order to use this space. So you have to use this with caution. Anyway. So power down, but manual up. It's crazy how that just rolls. Anyway. Multiple metal tie downs throughout. All right. So this is what it's like driving in just radar cruise control, which is not hands-free by any stretch of the imagination. This is just the first level of, it keeps the distance between multiple or vehicles or whatever. You can actually see in the screen, it shows you vehicles that are, you know, in view. Now it does have a considerable high level of autonomous driving, and you know, it does have lane centering. It doesn't like corners too well, even if it's a gentle, what I would consider a gentle turn or gentle curve of the road. It does not appreciate that. It will shut the system off and ask you to take over, but all you got to do is boop boop. And now it's autonomous highway driving. This is only available on the highway. You cannot use this on the streets. And it's a pretty decent system. It does keep you centered in the lane, as long as the lanes are clearly marked. You know, there's my hands off the wheel. Just for the record, this is a closed course. Or it does alert you to put your hands back on the steering wheel. But yeah, all you gotta do is just keep it here. This is a driver aid and not a driver replacement, so don't get weird. If you don't like that type of thing, you can just simply turn it off and have regular, good old-fashioned radar, still radar, but cruise control. But other than that, you know, this system is just exactly what you need for keeping the fatigue level down on a long road trip. You know what I'm saying? You're driving this thing hours and hours on the road, and you get worn out. If you're a tentative driver, if you are truly an attentive driver, you can get worn out really easily with how not having this system. So once again, this is a driver aid, not a driver replacement. Wheels do have to, or your hand has to be on the steering wheel, and you do have to give it a little jiggle every now and then just to let the car know that you are still attentive to the situation. But if you ever need to take your hands off the wheel for like 20 seconds or less, you know, the system will allow that, but then you need to put your hands right back. All right, if you made it this far, congrats. Let's talk about the bad points. The bed is not super huge. The back seat is not super great. Does have a nice Meridian sound system though, which is fabulous. Does have a deep storage cubby in the front. It has a removable Bluetooth speaker. Also doubles as a lamp. Front seat comfort is amazing. Back seat is decent. I've had way worse. Overall, the fit and finish of this thing is astounding. I absolutely enjoyed every minute of this Rivian. It barely fits in the smallest part of my garage, but it still fits, and I'm still able to get out of the vehicle, and I can charge out of the Elements. So that's not a ringer at all. It really is difficult for me to find bad things to talk about other than the public charging. That public charging is still not where I feel like it should be. It's not anywhere near as convenient as gas. I will give it that. Sometimes you'll come up to a public charger and it won't work. You won't even know that it won't work. It just simply does not work, or it's vandalized, or there's somebody parked there that's not even an EV, called icing, where a non-EV vehicle parks in a spot blocking you from charging. Or it could even be an EV that's simply not charging. They just decided to park there and not charge. Yeah, the possibilities are limitless. However, the main reason why I'm trying to not necessarily push this, but the main reason I'm trying to get this information out there is to simply lower your dependence on gasoline. Plain and simple. I'm not some kind of tree hugger. I'm not trying to get EVs out there and replace everything. I'm just saying we need to lower our dependence as a consumer. I love my 4xe Wrangler. I love the fact that going from a gas Wrangler, getting gas at least about every 3 days, now I'm getting gas every 3 months. I still have a gas, engine, but I generally just try to stay in my electric mode as much as possible, and that has extended my my gas getting days vastly. 3 days changed to 3 months. That is a huge, and the 4xe Wrangler, I got it after all the incentives and things like that. I got it for like 35 grand. So anyway, just be smart about it. I really appreciate everybody. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm trying to get these videos out there, and I'm trying to keep these short and sweet like me. See what I did there? Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Share this with your friends. Get the word out there. The EV technology is getting better every day. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.